whether they're, the social emotional learning programs, DEI programs, anti-racism programs, they're all important, but if done the wrong way, like you said, we start to get into this othering and the siloing and this collectivism, the thoughts of collectivism. One of the things that I talk, and quite honestly, this is one of the things that stood out so much about your work that made me want to reach out to you, Jason, is the idea of collectivism versus individual liberty, and the fact that every human being individually has their own value, their own worth, and we as individuals have to be seen as individuals. Yes, we are collective creatures. We are social creatures. We do need to be together, but we can't be defined by these boxes that people try to put us in. And so the work is so important, but done the right way. I know one of the things that you, or one of the organizations that you also do work with, is Free Black Thought, and my friend Dr. 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬, she's been on the show before. Actually, in December, I ran a rerun of that episode, talking about how when she was released as the boy, that title escapes me right now, but the at de Anza College, she's an incredible figure, trying to do incredible work, but didn't meet the woke standard, if you want to call it that, woke standard that de Anza College was looking for. And I'm like, there's so many people out there that are trying to do incredible work, but then this toxicity gets in the way of that work. So I appreciate that. So talk to me about Jason. Talk to me about how with Empowered Pathways, you've developed this empowered humanity theory, and there's attitudes involved, and then there's pathways to practice. And I really like this, because I am a root cause problem solving kind of guy, Jason, that I like to go to the root cause and actually work from there to try and solve issues. You're bringing solutions to the table. You're talking about the mental health crisis. You're talking about how we can use these tools to actually get stuff done, as opposed to a lot of these organizations that are really just causing more problems. So
yeah, for sure. When we were visiting earlier, I heard you say that one of your missions is bettering the world one attitude at a time. And with Empowered Humanity Theory, I'm actually promoting developing and cultivating three specific attitudes. And I think of Empowered Humanity Theory as this lens for which I and hopefully others kind of view the world and interact with the world and interact with ourselves. But one of them is a valued-centered identity. And this is kind of the answer to the I sure hate using the word woke over and over, but
me too. Yeah, it's one of the most overused words.
I guess it's the most simplest and easy way to describe something and to move on. But essentially, the status quo way of identity, which values skin color, born into the sex we were, I guess, assigned at birth, the way that we pursue romantic relationships, all of those things. Whereas with Empowered Humanity Theory, I advocate for a valued-centered identity, and that is each person identifying their 3 to 10 top core values and using those values as a way to guide and direct their behavior and their thinking, and a way to continuously, mentally check in with ourselves throughout the day. And especially in situations where maybe we're stepping outside of our values, because we can tend to step outside and do things that maybe we wouldn't normally do. But really establishing that valued-centered identity. Mm-hmm. And then another one is a dignity lens. And with that, I mean that understanding that beneath our biologies and our personalities, we are all profoundly interconnected, and we do share a common humanity. So to recognize and to honor that, and to practice finding similarities and commonalities with people, because those are the things that tear down the walls of indignity. Whenever I see myself in someone that may not look like me, or somebody identifies a piece of themselves within me that they may not look like me, but then we've formed this connection. And when we form that type of connection, we automatically create the psychological capacity to not harm each other. But whenever we primarily see someone as an other or as an outsider, we automatically build the psychological capacities to harm that person. So I advocate for a dignity lens so that we can stop doing harm to each other. And finally, develop mindsets and prioritize mindsets of inquiry and compassion rather than fear and judgment, because most of the way that people are currently responding and reacting to each other is through this fear-based lens and through this judgment-based lens. So I encourage, in the moment, whenever we make those snap judgment and snap decisions, especially in situations where we can limit our own potential, limit somebody else's potential, especially if we're teachers, making those harsh judgments against students, oh, those students can't learn, yada, 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 but really disrupt that type of thinking with inquiry and compassion. Maybe is there an element of suffering that I can tend to, or that's causing what I'm seeing, rather than being harsh and quick to judge on that person or that situation.